University of Nebraska Regents are asking a judge to dismiss a lawsuit from former head football coach Scott Frost. Frost sued the university in December, claiming the school breached his contract and mishandled millions in buyout payments. In their court filing, the Regents claim Frost's lawyers should have sent the lawsuit to Attorney General Mike Hilgers rather than the Regents. The judge will decide whether to toss the case on February 5th.